The New Orleans-style brass band, which had developed in the early 20th century, had a profound effect on the development of jazz. Many of the great early jazz musicians, such as Louis Armstrong and Sidney Bechet, performed in these groups during their time in New Orleans. Brass bands played a significant role in New Orleans culture. Two of the most famous aspects of this culture are the jazz funeral and the second line parades. To quote the Encyclopedia of Louisiana, in the traditional jazz funeral, a prominent member of the community, often a musician and nearly always a black male, is buried with music. At the beginning, the band plays dirges, somber Christian hymns performed at a slow walking tempo. After the body is laid to rest or cut loose, the band starts playing with up-tempo music. The second liners begin dancing, and the funeral transforms into a street celebration. Thus, the tune that opened this film, Just a Closer Walk with Thee, as performed by the Canadian Brass, is in this same vein. A slow hymn, followed by a celebratory jam with trombone solo. Anthropologist Helen Regis defines a second-line parade as a public festival in which club members, musicians, and second-liners come together to create a single flowing movement of people unified by the rhythm. These events typically took place on Sundays as the bands would wind their way through the streets, playing, dancing, and having a plain old good time. As musical influence spread up the Mississippi, Chicago developed its own distinctive style, which is marked by a slight change in instrumentation. In the New Orleans style, we have trumpet playing the melody, trombone doing counter melody, clarinet playing ornamentation, tuba doing the bass line, banjo strumming the chords, bass drummer with cymbal, and lastly snare drummer. In Chicago, due to space restrictions, the drummers were consolidated into one performer, playing all three instruments. Piano, playing the chords rather than the banjo, since most of the clubs at that time had pianos, and string bass, playing the bass lines rather than the tuba due to volume in the clubs. In our modern culture, these bands have been reborn and mixed with rap, hip-hop, and R&B. They have manifested themselves in ensembles such as the Young Blood Brass Band, Rebirth Brass Band, and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. This is an example of the Rebirth Brass Band playing a tune called It's All Over Now, which is in a more traditional style.
Yeah! Run, 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 yo! We gonna take off on these run, girl. You some love. So low down the lover. Where you went. And that's when I used to love her. Say what? Sing that shit. Oh!
Contrasting is the Young Blood Brass Band tune VIP. In it, you can hear more modernization and the influence of numerous genres. As you have seen and heard, the New Orleans-style brass band had a profound effect on the development of jazz in the 20th century.